Hello and welcome to the Infectious Group Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded at the 33 1/3 Music Appreciation Center in Speakeasy, located just outside of Detroit, Michigan. The Infectious Group Podcast is your source for jammy jams, music news, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
The snickering and stunning display of immaturity on display at the beginning of the episode means only one thing. Michelle is in rare form. And it is my duty to...
You said duty.
welcome you to another episode of the Infectious Group Podcast. My name is Russ. Along with me is Kyle and a small child named Michelle. Now, if you've been with us for a little while, you know that the episodes where we do anything out of the ordinary tend to be an opportunity for Michelle's behavior. And Michelle and Kyle have been so gracious as to move their schedule around and record during a weeknight for me as opposed to Saturday afternoon. And so the behavior that has already been exhibited is due to that and will continue to occur through this entire episode. Maybe. Yeah, who's to say? Having said that, this is an album review episode, and Kyle has made a pick for us. So in the second half of the episode, we are going to cover that in the same fashion that we always do. Our favorite tracks, what our stinkers are, our overall rating, so on and so forth. If you're new to the show, you can always find a way to interact with us on all across social media by just looking for Infectious Group Podcast. You're looking for a place to subscribe to the show if you don't already have a podcast app that you use, or you need a new one. You can download Good Pods and look for us on there, where we are currently in the top 5 music podcasts available, which is amazing.
How many music podcasts are available?
You've asked me that question almost as many times as there are music podcasts on the show now, and hundreds of thousands, or somewhere along those lines. And,
I don't believe you.
Okay. Well, it's on the internet. You can find this information out. So anyways,
That's
if you
where I
are
have to
listening
go to the internet?
Right. If you are listening to us, we, including Michelle, have you to thank for those type of rankings. And if you're not listening to us on Good Pods and you want a new place to listen to podcasts, download that app and make sure to subscribe to us on there. One last piece of information before we move on is our 100th episode is coming up very soon. If you're listening to this episode right now, you are hearing number 98. Which means that we're not that far away from recording number 100, which is amazing, but we'll get into on the actual episode. I'm sure Michelle's going to have tons of insight to share.
Yeah.
Regarding the journey.
What journey? My car?
Yes, your car, Dodge Journey. We have been gathering clips, and we are over 20 that we've gathered right now, which is awesome, but I will take as many as we can get. So if you're listening to this episode and you want to contribute and you have not, you can do that one of two ways. You can shoot us a voice clip at infectiousgrouppodcast@gmail.com, or you can call us at 313-364-9899 and leave us a voicemail. What we are looking for is 1 to 3 minutes of you talking about an artist or an album that's had a positive impact on your life. You can tell us a background story or just any reason why the song's had a positive impact, or the artist or the album. So feel free to get involved in that. You still have a little time to work with on that. Having said that, we are going to move right into our normal segments. Is that cool with you, Michelle? If we move on to our normal segments?
What are our normal segments?
Feedback, Joe. Don't worry about that. Right. Don't rock and roll me without feedback.
I love that when we get Michelle-centric feedback, I know for a fact that there's no way she's going to remember what the person is even referring to that she was listening to. So I'm going to read this and see if you have any idea.
Oh, like a game show?
What they're yes.
Okay.
That's exactly like a game show. Yes. That's what we're going for. Aaron from the I Had to Say It podcast says, I really enjoyed the fact that Michelle managed to fire off a burn right at the beginning. The, quote, "you too" dig made me laugh out loud. Michelle, any idea what they're talking about?
What did we talk about last week?
Right. So at the beginning of the episode, if I remember right, we were talking about you put up with something or other that week or whatever, and then you said, I put up with you two.
That sounds like something I would say.
That does sound like something you would say. Jamie,
wait, what did we talk about last week?
What did we talk about last week, Michelle?
I don't know.
Well, we sure got some positive feedback on it from the people that enjoyed our discussion. We talked about the future of the
Albums.
album. Yay.
That was only like 3 days ago, too.
I only had to give her like 4 out of the 5 words. At the end, she's like, albums. Yeah, that wasn't even that long ago. Jamie Porter from California goes ahead and leaves us this comment. He says, fun episode as always. I just realized this is going to have some triggers for you, Michelle. It's a topic that's very hard for you to deal with. It brought to mind the 2020 Huey Lewis and the News record, Weather. It, for me, falls in the space between an LP and an EP.
What?
It has 7 songs totaling 26 minutes. Much of it had to be recorded on days when Huey was feeling and hearing well enough to record. I like it a lot, and I wish there was more, but I fully understand the limitations that caused it to be a shorter record, and I'm glad for what we got. Moreover, I'm glad that it was released as a record and not a series of digital drops or as something that was unfinished or never revisited. Keep it up. Can I also recommend that we have a drunk show for your 100th episode? That's from James. Michelle, would you like to be drunk for our 100th episode?
I'd like to be drunk all the time.
For all the episodes?
For all the episodes.
So, what Jamie said, it's like, because with the Sturgill Simpson record we were talking about is like 26, 29 minutes or something
like that.
But I think it's like 10 tracks long. Like it's presented as a full record, whereas Huey Lewis is like, I'm going to be in between like 4 tracks, which is considered usually an EP,
right,
and 12 tracks, which is usually considered to be an album, and then have it be as short as Sturgill Simpson's whole album. So, Michelle, is this just mind-boggling to you?
I can't follow. I need a whiteboard.
Yeah,
for you
dry
to
erase board.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we're gonna need to when we do finally, because we've had a lot of requests not just to have you two on the YouTube channel, but to actually like put
You two,
up,
the band.
Yes, the two of you. We've actually had requests to have you two as well, but for some reason they won't get back to us.
Bono always says no.
But we've had requests for, and I plan to eventually have it to where we can have the podcast itself, like video of us recording it, go up. At which point I will add a dry erase board for you to be able to draw things and make. It's going to be dicks. But,
It's always going to be dicks.
Yeah. So anyways, Seth from the Thanks for Coming podcast writes, I'm going to kill this in 2 birds with 1 stone. First of all, how did no one mention Lil Nas X's LP on their Jammy Jams? So I guess that's got to be directed at you, Kyle, because I don't know if I would have spoke up on the Lil Nas, but Seth goes on to say 10 out of 10, no stinkers. Oh, second of all, Lil Nas is a great example of a rapper who uses little in their name but makes badass music. That's a direct shot at me and you because we were talking about. And I can't even remember off the top of my head who was it that you quoted that was like, "Why is everybody called
T-Pain?"
T-Pain. Okay,
mentioned about how no one's being original.
Yeah. So just because a person has that in their name doesn't mean that they're bad.
He also did it on purpose. Unlike other people, Lil Nas X used that name because of other to be like a parody almost.
I think my favorite origin story for a rapper name ever is still Post Malone.
Yeah,
like he just
the random name generator.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, why not? But yeah, no, the Lil Nas X record, this is going to sound, I have not heard ever in my life Lil Nas X outside of I heard the chorus of Old Town Road once.
I listened to the entire record.
What'd you think?
It is what you'd be expecting from him. It's just poppy rap.
So not 10 out of 10, no stinkers.
No, I mean, I listened to the entire thing. So I wanted to.
Yeah, it's what you expected.
I personally like people who don't take shit from people and then cause a stir over things.
Sure.
And that's him. He doesn't take shit. He's proud to be gay, proud to be black and gay, proud to be a famous person, be gay, and all of the above.
Right.
And anytime there's a thing that comes up with regarding his sexuality or him or people not wanting to work with him because of it, like he calls them out.
Yeah.
And I find that to be fantastic.
Yeah. Wow.
And he, other things involving shoes that he was going to put out that, Nike sued.
I heard some stuff about that.
There's always some sort of controversial thing involving him, and I kind of dig that.
Yeah.
But the record itself is for me too. It's just too rappy, poppy. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I hear you. If it's not for you,
yes,
you know what I mean. All right, cool. Well, speaking of what is for us, we'll move right along. Our jammies. This entire week for me has been dominated by usually
Van Halen.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, Van Halen. Yeah, because I listened to Van Halen back in. Thanks for looking that up, by the way. April, which would make it not every week.
It feels like every week.
Yeah, sure not, though. So this week for me has been completely dominated by Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 by GNR.
Why?
And for as big of a fan as I am of GNR, there's a lot of times where I go long stretches without listening to them because their catalog is so finite that like there's only so many. In one of their records, The Spaghetti Incident, which is mostly a punk cover album, and I don't like punk music.
Yeah.
So if you have a band who has 5 studio albums and I don't like one of them, like you're going to run out of stuff to listen
It's
to
like
real quick.
20%.
Yeah. And the thing with Use Your Illusion is the 30-year anniversary of their release was last Friday. So I put them on and listened to them straight through. On vinyl, it's 4 LPs long, which I think is 3 LPs too much for you, Michelle.
Yeah. Way
Sure.
too many.
And the thing you always hear about Use Your Illusion, as soon as the topic comes up, people always go, oh, that could have been one really good album. Horseshit. There is way too much really good music on those records to where there's no way it could have been one album. Like they could have released one years later or something, but we know from GNR history that never would have happened.
Right.
And the thing about Use Your Illusion is if you talk to 10 people who know the albums really well, they'll be like, oh, well, you could have cut this, this, and this. And then the next person will be like, no, those are awesome songs. Like, you could cut this, this, and this. Like, everybody has different songs that they would have cut. And people, like, there's at least 2 songs on the records that I don't like all that much that people would die for, that love. So for me, like, there's a ton of hits on the records, right? Knocking on Heaven's Door, Civil War, You Could Be Mine, November Rain, Don't Cry. I mean, it just goes on, right? But there is so much stuff on those records that like never got played on the radio, really got dropped off the set list like after the Use Your Illusion tour, like barely ever get played again, you know? So for me, it's like almost every time one of those songs starts, I'm just like, Jesus, what a jam, you know? Like, of course, with me, it leads me down the path of like, so much lost potential, you know, but it's been, you know, and they're both like 74 or 5 minutes a piece, each record. So it's like, oh, you know, it's easy to get lost in for me. So for me, it's been all Use Your Illusion. And for those of you who do subscribe to our Spotify playlist, do not expect Live and Let Die and Knocking on Heaven's Door and Don't Cry. I'm going to put a bunch of stuff on there that I don't think you've ever heard that you're going to like a great deal.
Don't worry, I'll put the other stuff on
Please
there,
don't. So that is it for me. Kyle, what are your diverse selections that you're listening to
I was
this
just
week?
about to say, man, I got some diversity.
Yes, I did it.
You did
I
it.
did it.
I happened upon it's some sort of show that FX did, but it's on Hulu. But there's a bunch of different categories of like what they cover, and they covered this dude named Dominic Fike. And he's this kid who got a $4 million record deal and had no album and no like backing for why a record label would give him $4 million.
Sweet.
So
Sounds great so far.
everyone just suspected that he was like this industry plant that like they had some sort of like huge plan for him. He recorded a few songs, put them out on SoundCloud, then went to jail. And he wanted
For putting them on SoundCloud?
No, he uploaded.
Is this fiction or no?
No, it's real life.
Okay.
He uploaded them, or he had someone upload them because he didn't want people to forget about him while he was in jail. He didn't know how long he was going to be in for.
Sure.
So he wanted this music to hopefully take off in the time he was gone, and then when he came back, you know, he would have something to come back to. And it worked. So
I mean, I don't know who he is.
you both have heard, if you use TikTok or the internet at all in general.
Can I spoil this for you?
Yeah.
Sing it.
There is a song called 3 Nights, and if you heard it, you would immediately recognize it because it's on TikTok.
Sing it.
No, I'm not singing it.
Hum it.
She doesn't
Tap it out.
understand copyrights.
But I can promise you that you've heard it.
Morse code.
If you use the internet at all, you've heard it.
Right. Well, I'm going to make a wild connection here. But like 10 years ago, if I had been like, We Are Young by Fun, you've heard it. And people were like, no, I
Yes.
haven't. I mean, have you seen a Microsoft commercial lately?
Right.
You've heard it. You know what I mean? So I'm sure it's that much
So
exposed. Yeah.
what happened was he put it on SoundCloud, went to jail, it took off, and then when he got out of jail, they realized that they had something, and they took all the songs down.
Maybe I should just go to jail and see what happens.
So he ended
Not
up
so bad.
when he got signed, the first thing that the record label did was they put this music back out and then shot a music video for that song.
Yeah.
But he's recently released a new album, or I should say, a
It
full
sounds like
album.
the Lone Rangers from Airheads.
It's the strangest. It's a super talented kid that
Well,
couldn't
shit,
get his
now
shit
I want,
together.
what's
What
the
did
name
it-
of the show?
The show doesn't have a title. Each episode is titled something different.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that before. Where
It's
there's
on
things on
FX,
Hulu where
yes.
I've been like, oh, I want to watch this series. And I'm like, nope. This is
The first
yeah.
one caught me. It was about like
DeLorean, right? Did they do one on DeLorean?
That's not the same thing.
Okay.
But the first episode was like about internet influencers.
Okay.
So like I got sucked into the first episode, and this just happened to be one of the episodes.
Gotcha.
I wasn't seeking it out.
Right.
But
right. Well, I'm going to stop derailing you and let you talk about the music. Sorry.
yeah, the kid is like super talented. He
What
just
did he
couldn't
go to
get
jail
his
for?
Huh?
What did he go to
He
jail
violated
for?
his probation.
Remember when I just said I was going to stop
That's
derailing?
right.
Violated probation and he failed a drug test.
It's not even exciting.
No, it wasn't exciting.
I'm sorry him going to jail wasn't exciting enough for you. Kyle, tell us about the music.
So I immediately, after I knew that song of his, and I was watching him essentially try to make this record that he owed the record label because he had never made a record or never made a full record before, never toured, he'd never even done a live show before. Mm-hmm. So it's just the process of him like doing this shit. Mm-hmm. The EP is called "Don't Forget About Me" Demos.
Oh boy, the EP.
Yeah, it is an EP.
Shit, is that the short one or the long one?
And I think that if you like, I just got done saying I don't like poppy rap stuff, but it's like rocky rap pop stuff that you would find. Like the 3 Night song is not like that. It's very much like a pop song that you would find on MTV or TikTok or whatever.
Right on.
But I wanted to check out more of his stuff, and I have not dug into his newest, which would be the album that they were recording on this documentary.
Okay, it's out, but
it is out. It came out in 2020.
Well, you have like 4 days until she's got to make the playlist this time instead of like 1 day. So feel free to dig into it between now and then.
Yeah. So, and he's he's super talented, and I guess the reason he got this huge record deal is because they looked at him and his abilities and the potential talent that he had, and didn't want to miss out on it. So they just threw all this money at him.
Well, once again, we are open to that possibility.
Yes.
For people to just look and see the talent involved and just throw money at us.
I wish that would happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to be clear. Like, you know that scene in Wayne's World where they're complaining about corporate sponsorship?
Yeah.
I will eat Doritos like with it facing the right way.
we're going to get sponsored by like cauliflower.
That's fine with me. That'll be for you because you were mad about the other company that used to sponsor us, and you were mad that they never had products for you. So, I don't know. Cauliflower's probably for you. I don't know.
So, you think that the opposite of a woman's bush razor is cauliflower?
Kyle, what else are you listening to?
So, that was like the poppiness shit I've been listening to, right? And now, so there's an artist named Baby Keem. I don't know if you've heard of him. A lot of you probably haven't, but he's now gaining traction because he's involved with Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
And Kendrick Lamar was on his like first single that he released off this album. And it's called The Melodic Blue, the album is. Mm-hmm. And it is solid rap.
Okay,
and
cool.
Kendrick Lamar appears multiple times on the album.
Well, I'm pretty much in once you say Kendrick.
Yes. So. And so I believe that he has the Kendrick cosign. I don't know what record, if he's signed to Kendrick, I have no idea, but like he is definitely going to, we're going to be seeing a shitload more stuff from him.
Good.
Yes.
And baby in front of the name this time.
Yes.
How about that? So those two?
Well, I got one more.
Oh, geez.
I always find myself going back and listening to City and Color, even though he hasn't released anything recently. But
it's good music, man.
Yes. So Little Hell, the album, fucking fantastic.
You know what I need to own on vinyl, Kyle? Little Hell.
Why are you yelling at
I'm just saying Christmas is coming up. I'm going to turn around twice and be at Christmas. I'm just saying.
His stuff's hard to find on vinyl.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Kyle's got a news bulletin for us. Little Hell's hard to find on vinyl.
It is?
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually just shot a YouTube video the other day about like stuff still on my wish list for vinyl, and it wasn't all of it because I don't think I'll ever go through my whole wish list of things I want to own. But that'll be out, I think, in a couple weeks, and that'll be fun. You know, it's like fun for people to know like what is it that you want to own still.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, City and Color, just in general.
I will say this is along the City and Color on the same subject. If you are a person who listens to just digital CDs or streaming or whatever, and you want to see firsthand if vinyl sounds different than those mediums, get a City and Color record. Because, like, for instance, like Sometimes the record, oh my god,
I have a couple, just not Little Hell.
Oh my god,
Some of them.
I
don't know if you guys know that I don't have Little Hell on vinyl.
Some of them
I didn't know that.
Not visibly, but audibly, you can tell it just sounds so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much better.
I just had someone leave a comment on our YouTube page this week that was like, "Oh, the vinyl craze is overrated." Okay, Like I'm not, I'm not trying to
Argue with me right now.
Well, that's my thing. I'm not. The whole point of the vinyl channel is not like at no point in any video am I like, and if you don't own this on vinyl, you're an idiot.
Oh, man.
Like
It's a shame I didn't see that.
You say that between the lines.
I do not.
I'm just kidding.
Not
You say it with
even-
your eyes.
For people who have watched our YouTube channel,
I've seen it.
which would not be, yeah, I've seen it. I absolutely, in no way, shape, or form,
I
am
know.
ever like that, and I'm not like that in real life either. I've never told you that you have to buy vinyl or that it's always like it always sounds better. It sounds better to me, but that's to me. Might sound totally different to somebody else. So, however, as long as people are enjoying music, I'm fine with however they're doing it. But having said that,
Absolutely.
I agree with your point that
Yeah.
that is one of those bands that when you hear it on vinyl, you're like, oh, that's why people love vinyl.
Yes, and I will say there are records that I own also that don't sound any different to me than
Sure.
streaming. But
Well, that's a whole discussion
Yes.
about the mastering
Yes,
process
yes.
and everything. I know a YouTube channel you could watch where they talk about stuff like that. all
Go
the time.
on.
Let me see if I can get us a break in the next 30 seconds. Michelle, what's your jammy jam?
I have two.
Oh, my Lord.
oh,
It's going to take 40 seconds.
I have two.
Dos Jammies.
Yes. The first one has Gary on the kick drum.
Come. Gary, on the kick drum. Come.
Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. It is that. This has been one of those songs where every time I scroll through like my radio stations, it's always on like 94.7 or 106.7
Such a
or
jam.
something. It's been on like 4 times a week on my way to and from work. To the point where I was like, did somebody from Yes die? Like, why is the song everywhere
Yeah.
this week? I don't think that they did. I
Probably
forgot to
because
look it
only
up.
you listen to the radio
I think
and they know
Chris-
it.
Shut up.
I think Chris Squire was the last person to pass away from Yes, and that's been like 5 years.
Maybe
or
it's the
something like
anniversary.
that.
Or, I don't know. Maybe it's just following
But
me.
that's one hell of a song.
Yeah.
Like, and the only thing I personally don't like the tone on the guitar at all. Like, it's they put a harmonic pedal on the guitar where it sounds like 7 guitars playing the solo at the same time.
That's not for you.
Having said that, coming out of the guitar solo, it goes down to just a clean guitar, and then the drums come back in before it goes back into the whole thing. And that's like arguably my favorite 5 seconds of music in the whole 80s is that
Really?
breakdown from that song. That's another record that you listen to on vinyl, and you're like, oh my.
Do they do more than that I know?
Do they? Okay, so you asked 2 separate questions.
No, that was one
Yes
question.
and no.
There was just a pause in there.
The band does a lot more than that song. Yes.
Do you know it? No.
And do you know it? Absolutely not.
That was their only single.
Yes, that's the only song anyone's ever heard by them. No one's ever heard anything by them except for Owner of a Lonely Heart. Let me say this. They are Santana, Journey, Fleetwood Macish. They had a whole career
Okay.
before anybody ever heard that song. There was an entire generation in the 80s that were like, this new band, yes. And they were like, no. And a lot of their stuff prior to that record is far different. It's more, you would not like any of it. Very lengthy.
I'm out.
Yeah. Oh, I know. They have
They should call that band Nope.
Zing. All right, what is your next jammy jam?
My next Jammy Jam, it just is one of these songs that will just randomly get stuck in my head. I'm pretty sure I probably heard it on a video somewhere, like TikTok or Instagram, but I don't even know. But Tequila by the Champs. Just
Oh, yeah.
literally they'll just be just sitting at my desk. Just
That's another one from when I was a kid. Pee-wee's Big Adventure came out.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Okay, and that's in the film,
Yeah.
right? And so when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, this new song from this movie." Yeah. Like, no, believe it or not, that song had been released before Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
isn't that from like the 50s or something?
Yeah, I think it's late 50s, early 60s, something like that.
So it's only like 60 plus
Yeah,
years
ish.
old,
Yeah.
but totally new.
Yeah, it was brand new to me.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. But
Much
it's-
like the band Yes is brand new to you.
it is definitely. I don't know if it's just me, but it's an earworm for me.
Oh, for sure.
I cannot get it out of my
For sure.
head.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said for saxophone in any music, and that sax
true.
solo in that is just ridiculous.
And I like tequila, so
Right? Yeah, you like the song and the liquid. But like what I was going to say about sax in rock music is like I'm famously not a fan of almost anything Elvis did pre 1969. So like everything people love, Hound Dog, Heartbreak Hotel, I could take or leave all of that. Except for Return to Sender because of the damn sax in that song is
now I got that stuck in my head.
good.
Thanks.
That's fantastic. So next week I know what one of your jammy jams is going to be.
Don't spoil it for
We
the people.
are going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to get into our album review. And Kyle pulled a doozy here. He pulled one
boy.
that I literally had never heard of the artist. I'd never heard of the song. Well, I've heard of the artist because it was in your jammy jams before.
Yeah, I frequently talk shit about him, actually.
You actually, yes, you did. So lots of fun coming in the second half. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Infectious Group Podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hey there, we're BFYTW Podcast. I'm Pantsless Aaron, I'm the host, and we are three silly people playing very silly games for fakey points that don't count for anything. Our permanent team captains are a veteran and a podcaster, and a veteran podcaster, it's Stevie.
Hey guys, it's Midnight Smoke here. I love being funny, goofy, and I'm here for your entertainment.
And his permanent opponent, my oldest friend and a gamer and a storyteller, it's Jorge.
Hey guys, Jorge here, HH_Empire, and I am the logical voice to this Maelstrom of Chaos, sometimes.
Well, if you like silly people playing silly games, then you want to come hang out with us at BFYTW Podcast every week. That's BFYTWpodcast.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dylan.
I'm Corey.
I'm Kendall.
Together, we host From the Middle, a comedy and culture podcast about being middle-class guys, living in the middle of America, in the middle chapters of our lives, with points of view that fall somewhere in the middle.
That's right, Corey. We chat about all things, mostly husband and dad life, geek culture, and entertainment from a relatively centrist and regular point of view. We all hear enough about the extreme ends of the spectrum, so we thought we'd create a conversational and relaxed podcast from a moderate perspective.
Flyover state? Psh, more like state fairs. Stock. Guys, what's something that's cool and impactful that is the antithesis of boring?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Listen to our podcast. We'd love for you to join the conversation. You'll forget you're not actually hanging out with us.
That's From the Middle, available wherever you find podcasts and at From the Mid Pod everywhere.
We are back, and as you know, if you're a longtime listener, every other episode we are doing an album review. We rotate through all of us and through our listeners, and we rotated around back to Kyle this time. And usually when any one of us will post, like in our group chat, about what the album is going to be, there's usually complaining on Michelle's part, or I'll be like, oh, hell yes, what a great album. And then there was like at least 10 minutes of stunned silence. And this time, like, both Michelle and I were like, the who what now? So,
I came out of the shower and Kyle was playing it for Zoe. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is it. This is what he's picking. And then he put it in the chat and I was like, there it is.
And there it is. All right, here we go.
The Infectious Group Podcast.
Album review.
Oh, I'm sure I'll say something dumb.
We are going to review an album by a Canadian artist named Jonny Craig. Oh, yeah, he's Canadian, eh? Jonny Craig is the name of the artist, and the name of the album is A Dream is a Question You Don't Know How to Answer. This was released on August 18th, 2009, but the first tracks from it ever were debuted on MySpace, I found out.
Yeah. He's very much from that time.
If you're still logged into MySpace, you can
I can't delete my MySpace.
Yeah, I was just watching something about how people were complaining about no one can delete their MySpace.
I literally have to you just submit a request. Yeah. I've done it a dozen times.
I managed to do it years ago, but it was literally like whenever MySpace was still relevant. After hearing you complain about how you couldn't do it, I was like, I'm going to do it. It took like 10 times. So if your MySpace account is still active, you can go put Jonny Craig in your top 5. And,
I kind of want to look, but I don't.
Fill out a survey on him if you want to. And his 2009 album, which the title just rolls right off the tongue. A Dream is a Question.
As does every song title on the album.
Oh, don't even.
Oh, my God.
I have a lot of notes when we get to open discussion. Before we start down this path, Kyle, we always ask each person why they brought the album to us. Kyle, why did you bring this album to us?
I fucking love this album.
Okay, that's a good enough reason.
Well, we can just go home then.
Yeah. So we're good around?
So I don't even know how I came upon this album or him.
Probably MySpace.
Yeah, probably MySpace.
I feel like it was after, like, when Facebook started taking off.
Kyle had Jonny Craig and Tom.
He coded a song from Jonny Craig to be on his homepage.
You went to his page. There was a lot of pink glitter with Jonny Craig.
Yeah.
So I've listened to this entire album, I would say no less than 1,000 times probably.
Yeah.
Well, it's only 30 minutes, so.
Yeah,
that's true.
That is one thing. When I looked at the runtime, I was like, phew, Michelle's going to be happy.
That is my favorite part about the album. I don't want to spoil anything, but.
I was going to pick Use Your Illusion for my album pick one of these times.
Both of them?
Well, yeah, and I wasn't sure if I could get away with
the fucking weekend bullshit and this fucking. No!
So when I was deciding if I was going to do that or not, I literally looked at the runtime on Use Your Illusion 1 and saw that it was like 74 minutes and 19 seconds for Use Your Illusion 1. And I was like, I can't even get her to listen to 1, let alone 2. So anyways, the album is 30 minutes long and you love every second of all those 30 minutes.
I do. I love certain songs more than others, but the entire thing, I have a lot of like attachment to it because I was in a really shitty relationship for a long time. And like I had this album throughout that entire time. I just connected with it because of the emotion and shit.
The lyrics are a high point.
I have an attachment to it, and then I made the mistake of going to see him live.
Oh boy, I heard.
And then you know how they say that don't meet people that you like idolize or whatever. Yeah. I met him and he's a fucking asshole.
Oh boy.
So,
by the way, I'm going to tag him in this because we always tag the artist in our reviews, and I sincerely want this dude to listen to this episode and be like, hey, you should treat people better because no, honestly, there's a couple of things. I went to Twitter initially because I had never heard of this artist to see what the buzz was, and the first thing that came back was a whole crap load of tweets being like, F this guy.
Yes.
And then I said that to you. I was like, dude, not that we weren't going to review his music over it, but I was like, hey, man, this is what I found out. And you were like, oh, yeah, I met him. He was an asshole. Yes. And I was like, maybe treat people better. And he's Canadian. Aren't they all nice? I thought all Canadians were nice.
He's the exception to the rule, man.
He's the exception, eh?
Now, I had heard that.
Figure it out.
I had heard that before I went and... No, I will say that I saw him at like the Pike Room, and it was fantastic because of how small the venue was. And like, I mean, he was standing 3 feet in front of me performing for me. Yeah. So that was awesome. But hanging out with him, he's not cool to hang out with. It's not a cool thing.
I always tell people... I'm sorry, real quick. I always tell people that I'm very glad that I met Roger Waters when I did.
Yeah.
Because I met old, kind Roger. Like, I feel like if I had met him in the early 90s when I got into Pink Floyd, that the whole rest of my life would be very different because he was a raging asshole then.
Yeah.
And so I got to meet like old, nice Roger.
Yeah, see, that's awesome.
Yeah, but anyways, so you met him and he was a jerk.
I had heard negative things about him as well, about his behavior and how he acts, whatever, and I decided to forego that because I like his music. And then when I experienced the exact same thing, and then the next day after the show, everyone was talking about that show and about how terrible he was. So if you go and look it up, if you just Google Jonny Craig, everything you're going to find is negative.
Yeah.
Nearly everything.
Which I was like, whoa.
Yes, but he puts out
it's like even
good music.
To draw the correlation again, and I know I use these two artists a lot, but like Roger Waters and Axl Rose, right? Like if you Google Axl Rose, you're going to get a whole lot of people being like, oh, they were 11 billion hours late once, and Axl did
That's
this
really late.
And whatever. Oh, it is very late. But you're also going to see people be like, Axl Rose killed it this night, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Roger Waters, like, oh, what a dick. Oh, but he wrote The Wall, though. You know, like with this dude, everything I found was so. Here's what I did that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to let this music speak for itself and just put it on and since then I haven't looked into him personally.
And you just Google him, you'll find out he's been kicked out of multiple bands. He used to be the lead singer of several bands, Amorosa and other bands.
He sounds like a treat.
Dance Gavin Dance. But he's been he has I don't know what the story is now, but he had a very severe drug problem, has scammed his fans out of money by pretending to sell them a laptop, which still gets brought up to this day, and he gets super fucking mad about it.
Soulja Boy sells one video game system, and now we all got to hear about it.
So every time he posts something on social media, somebody will mention the black MacBook, and he gets so fucking mad.
Yeah, well, it turns out people don't like being stolen from.
Yes. So that was the whole thing, and he had a severe drug problem and has gone to rehab a couple times. I don't know, but he, in my opinion, puts out great solo material. I don't care for the emo Warped Tour pop band stuff that he did before that, but like the other music that he does on his own, I'm a very big fan of.
Right on. So
and the reason he keeps coming up is because I like his music.
You like the music.
I don't like him. I like his music. Yeah.
Right. And being a jerk is not a reason to just dislike a person's music, right?
Yeah. So,
like,
and to be honest, I could, if I was in his position and I have a bunch of screaming fucking 17-year-old girls that wanted to take pictures with me and all the time, I can't say that I wouldn't behave like that as well.
Right.
So
yeah.
who the hell
Didn't
knows?
walk a mile in my shoes.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Well, having said that, let's move on to the music. I don't even know if we have a way we start this rotation, but since you brought it to us, Kyle, what are your favorite tracks on the record?
While we're talking about that, this record, every song title is confusing and makes no sense.
Oh, we have open discussion, sir.
So
we have points to discuss.
If you're digging into this, don't just listen to the song. The song title has nothing to do with anything. My favorite songs are I Still Feel Her Part 3.
That was my first favorite song on the record.
What I Would Give to Be Australian. 7 a.m. 2 Bottles and The Wrong Road, and The Garbage Pail Kid Gangbang.
That's also on my best tracks list. So we matched up on two of them.
Yes.
Michelle, I don't know if you had any tracks you like on this record, judging by the faces you've been making so far during recording and the asides that you've dropped here and there. Were there any tracks that you were able to enjoy at all?
Okay, so
see what had happened.
What had happened was, so I honestly have listened to this record like 7 or 8 times because it's so easy to listen to. I just put it on and I'm like,
and I heard your roommate plays it a lot.
Yeah. But like on my way to and from work, it's like pretty much the exact amount of my commute every day. And like, but I never was struck where I was like, what song is this? Where I had to like look it up and like to find out what song it was. Mm-hmm. But also in the opposite too, I never was like, skip this song. Sure. So like, I don't.
Which you went into
any.
Great detail during several of my album picks about which songs you had to skip, which I'm totally over and doesn't hurt my soul at all. So
yeah, sorry.
So did there end up being anything? Because now you're listening to it intently on purpose.
Yes.
Right. Which, by the way, the other day when I was listening to it at work, I never use Spotify on my desktop, and I had Spotify up, and you know how on the desktop it shows you what other people are listening to, and you were listening to the album at the same time I was. And I was like, look at that synergy. We're doing research.
Yeah. So what was the question?
What are your best tracks?
No, I said I don't have any.
Oh, no best tracks.
No, I could not find one where I was like, this is something like, this is a jam.
I just want to say something. I don't think I've even had that happen to me yet.
But like I said,
I feel like even on like the Pink Floyd record, you were like, I don't know, part of this one song was good.
No, I liked it all, but there was nothing that stood out as a jammy jam to me. Enough. Like it was just like, I put it on every single time. There was never one song where I was like, I would definitely skip this one every time. And I was intently listening for something that would like pique my interest or like was catchy or something to me that spoke to me. I liked the lyrics, I liked the songs, but there was nothing that like really stood out to me. Either way, though. So it wasn't good and it wasn't bad.
I get you. For me, my best tracks, we matched up on 2 of my 3. I Still Feel Her and The Garbage Pail Kid Gangbang. And then I had Taking Time for All the Wrong Things. I had on my list as well, which like for you might be one because you like the whole record. It might be one that like Michelle was saying just isn't, a big one. But for me, like I said, I listened to this record, I think 3 or 4 times. And was the same thing. The first time, absolutely nothing stood out. The second time, I had a couple stinkers. And then I was like, I hope there's stuff that I like a lot. You know what I mean? To counterbalance that. And I did end up around the 3rd listen or so. I ended up being like, okay, yeah, I really do like this one. You know what I mean? For those 3 songs.
I almost liked that.
I almost liked.
I wrote it down.
Jonny Craig, if you're listening.
And you're almost liked one of your songs.
And you're looking at improving yourself, just know that you're on your road because Michelle has songs she almost liked.
I wrote down 7 a.m., 2 Bottles, and The Wrong Road. Yeah. And then the second half of the song, I lose it. There's some point in the song where I'm just like, it just drops off for me.
I don't have that listed as a stinker, but I have another song listed as a stinker that is on the list for the same reason. It's trying to go in too many different directions at once for me.
Yeah, I feel like if it was all in, like the first half of the song, then it would be a jam, and if it was all like the second half of the song, it would be a stinker.
I feel like what I'm hearing is in life you need people to just break things up into smaller sizes.
Yes.
Just in
fun
life,
size.
in life in general.
Yes.
Yep. Kyle, I'm assuming you have no stinkers, but I will.
Nearly every time I listen to him in general, I listen to the entire record.
Fair enough.
Front to back.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I think the album length lends itself well to that as well.
Yes.
Right? Not to bring up Van Halen again. But
ding, 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 second time.
What I and many people consider to be their worst record is Diver Down, the one right before 1984. And that record is like 32 minutes long. And what's funny is if you said to me, like, what's one of the Van Halen records you've listened to through the most, Diver Down would probably come up because it's so short that before I know it, it's over. You know what I mean? Whereas like Balance is like over an hour long. That's correct. Michelle, besides all of it, what were your stinkers?
I didn't have any.
No stinkers at all.
Nothing.
This album is literally just there.
It's literally just middle of the road.
Do you want to just give us your 5 out of 10 rating and go?
How did you know?
Because you just said it's middle of the road.
I can't. I really tried. I couldn't find anything. Like I said, there was nothing that I wanted to skip except for that one song, and the first half is a jam and the second half is a stinker. So I feel like they even out.
Oh, fair enough. I was going to say,
It's still 5.
I feel like that's a stinker if you're going to skip any of the song. But.
It's the second half. The first half, I'm always like, this is a jam. And then I'm like, this is not a jam
This is no
anymore.
longer a jam. You have outlived your jam status.
You fooled me.
For me, I've been hearing that you're freaking. It's not even bad. It's just too many directions at once. It might even be the second half of the song where he was just like, well, what if I add this to it? What if I add this to it? And this is coming from a person that enjoys Chinese democracy, where for 13 years, Axl was like, what if I add this to it? You know? So like, I know what it sounds like when someone puts too much on one track. So that one was for me. And then no matter how hard I dig, They Always See Right Through Me. I wanted to like way more than I did. Like to the point where I would skip it. And on a record that's 30 some minutes, that's a lot to say.
Yeah,
you know,
you don't want anything to be skippable if you only got a half hour.
Exactly,
yeah.
right? You know, so like that was pretty detrimental for me, but like not even, again, we'll get into it when we get into our ratings, but there was, in many ways, I'm agreeing with Michelle. Like there was nothing here that I was like, oh, I have a super definitive thought on this. Like I don't all of a sudden love this album, and I don't by any means hate it.
Yeah, like I know, I'm not trying to spoil it, but if someone were to just be like, would you buy this album and put it on? I would, but I wouldn't, there's nothing on there I wouldn't be like, I need to hear this track. It's just
right.
I will say that there is a track that doesn't fit on the record, and that for me is "Children of Divorce."
Yeah,
because it's like an acoustic
is that the
song.
last track?
Yeah. But I understand the reason why it's there, and it's like a super personal song for him, and it's about
children of divorce.
Well, it's essentially about him not being ready to, his girlfriend getting pregnant, I think, and him not being ready to have a kid, and her getting an abortion.
Oh, fair enough.
Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's the part of the story.
Sure.
So it's okay for it to be there if that's part of the
right. Well, it also could be
the whole picture.
Guys, this record's 26 minutes long.
Yeah, it also very well could be that.
Sure. As we move into open discussion, the first point I want to bring up to this is I have not heard anything else that he's done, but this is a hell of an effort for your first time out.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
This is his first record.
Yeah,
it's first solo record. Yeah,
yeah. Just not even 10 minutes ago, I was covering the stats on the record, and I was talking about how it was his debut record. And
that's what debut means.
Yes. yes. As a matter of fact, it is. I think it's a hell of a record to put out for your first time out. Okay. My question directly to you is, what the hell's with the song titles on this record?
We talked about this before when we were talking about emo bands, and he very much comes from that time.
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
He comes from the time where it was like cool to name the songs random shit and just let people figure it out. And
Not
he very
cool.
much
Stop doing it.
He still does it now, and he just put on new. That was just my jammy jam, and it's still the same kind of thing where he's still doing it now, and it's just a thing that he's ran with.
Yeah,
and
not cool. Stop doing it.
Yeah, it's irritating, but I've learned to ignore it.
One other discussion point I had was I really like the keyboard work on this record. You've seen him live. Does he play any keys, or would that have been someone else?
No, it was a band.
Okay.
Yeah, he just sings.
Gotcha. The parts of the album that I liked the most, and hopefully this isn't, I would think this is a compliment. For the record, for me, sounds a whole lot of it has an emo feel.
Yes.
But a whole lot of it has a Butch Walker feel.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff that's got the Butch Walker feel worked way more for me than the stuff that, for obvious reasons.
Unfortunately, it would be almost impossible for it to not have an emo feel because he's the lead singer of several emo bands.
But I think that helps, though, me coming in blind, not knowing that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that way I didn't just go, oh, well, this is what I expect this to sound like, and maybe not pick up on the Butch Walker style. And again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying he just said, oh, let me make a Butch Walker record. It sounded in that vein.
Yeah.
If I had heard this record while I was in my prime emo phase, like 2003, 2004, I understand that it came out after that, but I think I would have been all over it. I I would have jams, and it would probably be memorable for me for that like a time in my life, and I probably love this record, but it's just there now.
My other question for you, Kyle, is: does this album have legs? Like, is this known in the community?
No, it's a record.
Like, when you talk about like "Tell All Your Friends," "The Black Parade," like albums like "Deja Entendu," people even on the outskirts of that scene know of that record. Like, is this that way, or is this something that like you hold on to? And
no, it's that's part of the reason why I chose it too, is I wanted to see how many of our listeners were familiar with it, or if any of them were, because more people should be.
Fair enough.
But I think that yes, a lot of people know about it, that especially that swing in those circles, but it's so hard to try to wade through all of the bullshit that comes with him now that it just gets lost in the fucking emo abyss or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
And so I, coming completely blind at this, like the first time I Googled the guy, even I was like, oh boy, you know what I mean? Like, like if I wasn't going to listen to this for this show, just based on what I go, even I might have been like, oh, well, the hell do I want to listen to this guy for?
Yeah,
Didn't we do a whole episode about how people can do whatever they want in their personal life and their music can be different? You can listen to it and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
wait, hold on. Was that like an acid flashback? Did you just remember that we talked about something and you just wanted to share it with everybody? That you remembered that?
You just said you might not want to listen to it because of his personal life.
So no, not because of his personal life. Just be like, why? Like if someone was like, basically what I found on Google was like, hey, this guy puts out albums and he's a real jerk. Like that's not a selling point.
What is?
Now Roger Waters is a real jerk, but I listen to the music first and then he's a jerk, and I'm okay with it.
It's not his personal life. He's behaving that way to people who are supposedly supporting him, or to his fans. It's not like he's an asshole to his maid that does his laundry. He's an asshole to people
we don't know. We could have her on.
Yes. And I also want to be clear is that earlier I said that, if I had a bunch of 17-year-old girls screaming at me, I might behave the same way. I'm not saying that he behaves inappropriately towards 17-year-old girls.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to change it to 18.
No, 18, 17, any girls.
Girls.
Yes. Yeah. Girls in general, no age attached.
Women?
Of legal age, yes. Any women, I don't know if there's been accusations against him. I have no clue.
Right.
But I'm saying
we're getting down a real big rabbit hole.
No, I know what you're trying to say.
That he has the ego that's an ego the size of fucking Mount Rushmore, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And the girls screaming at him is what feeds that, and then he can't detach himself from that.
Well, dude, again, back to Axl. I've said that since 1990. You take a high school dropout who drives across the country and accidentally ends up putting out what many people consider to be the greatest hard rock record of all time. It's his first album. They put him on tour, and you have all the money in the world to pay people to tell you you're right all the time. Let's have anybody go through that and see how you turn out.
Yeah.
So your point is not lost at all. And don't worry about that. Anybody in our listening audience should know what you meant.
Yes. Yeah. I have no clue if he's been inappropriate to anybody, but I'm just saying he's been an asshole to me personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I totally
and
understand.
And you had the heart of a 17-year-old girl.
I totally understand and can relate to other people that are complaining about him behaving that way.
For sure. But there is a defense for it, in my opinion. If you throw that much at a person, and there's only so many times they can be told they're great before they go, I am great.
You couple that with...
Try it with me.
Thanks for yawning in the middle of your comment.
So, as to what you're saying, couple that with then fucking up and being kicked out of multiple bands, but then always being given a second, third, fourth, fifth chance because you're talented, you're a good songwriter, you have a good voice. So you keep getting these bones thrown to you, and then you're like, well, that's because I'm fucking awesome. That's why.
Right,
why else would they be giving me all these chances?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, Axl.
Yes.
Dude takes 13 years between records because people are like, oh, it'll be awesome when it comes out. He's like, yeah, it will be. And I'm going to take my sweet time with it. So, Michelle, you kind of answered this earlier, but having heard this record, would you buy it?
I wouldn't not buy it.
What?
You have $15 to spend right now. You can buy that CD or keep your $15. What are you going to do?
Those are my two only options?
Yes, buy it or not. Yes, would you buy that album? There's the option to buy the album or not buy the album. It's okay to say not. It's fine to say not.
That's like 3 pumpkin spice lattes.
Heaven forbid we take the PSL money. I put no, but because that this album isn't aimed at me. Mm-hmm. It's aimed more at the emo audience than it is. Would I recommend it? If somebody said to me, like, oh, I'm tired of listening to the same old emo stuff. Or if I do know people who like emo and who like Butch Walker, if they were like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if something, boy, do I have the album for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would recommend it to people who like this. Like you said, if there's somebody who hasn't heard of this, like if there's somebody right now who goes, well, I'm emo and I've never heard of this guy or this album, then you should, by all means, you should check this record
Just don't
out.
Google his name first.
Right. Yeah. Go to Spotify and look him up, not Twitter or Google. Yeah. Kyle, we know the answer to this, but would you buy this album?
Yeah, and I've tried, and his stuff is very hard to find on vinyl. I don't think was very much of it pressed when it came out.
He probably did something to it.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I think I ran across something on Discogs or something. It was super expensive, so I didn't jump on it. But I would love to own his stuff on vinyl.
And what would you rate this record on a 1 to 10, with 10 being the best?
Put it at 8.
8. What drops it 2 points for you? Is it the fact that it could be longer, or?
That's what she said.
You know what? I cannot think off the top of my head what a 10 record would be.
Yeah.
So like, it's really hard for me to get to that 10 anyways.
Yeah.
And it could be lower on the scale, but I have such a personal attachment to the record that like, it's just so, I can feel like the raw emotion that he puts into singing.
Sure.
And then with the lyrics and everything, like I'm really attached to it. So that might be why the rating is higher than what your average person might rate it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I was down at a 5 on this, but all 5 points come from exactly what you said. Like, even though this isn't my type of music, the way it's done, the emotion in it makes me be like, oh, I respect what you're doing, right? And I almost want to make it a 6 or 7 because, again, I can't stress enough, if this is your genre, if you like emo, then you should be listening to this record.
And even if you don't, because I don't really like emo music, but I for some reason, I'm just attached to his voice, I guess. I don't know.
That's fair. And you could even be more attracted to that, poppy's not the right word, but the Butch Walker aspect of it, pop rock-ish aspect of it. And you probably, again, I'm using all the wrong phrases here, like that allows you to put up with the emo side of it more than me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I was like, if I rate this a 7, it's going to be in there with like some very adored albums by me that I've put in 7. So I can't, I can't give it 2 more points based off of how I think it works for someone else. I got to rate it based on what it.
And now you guys are getting it.
What?
That's how I've been rating the records this entire time. And you're like, no.
I want to just real quick.
What?
People who rated Pet Sounds 5 out of 10 do not get to explain album ratings to me.
It's a 5 out of 10 to me.
There is going to come a day in your life where you text, call, or whatever technology we're using at that time. Because it will be, if you're listening to the show, it's going to be the day after you hear on CNN that hell froze over. The day after that, Michelle is going to send me some sort of communication that says, I finally get Pet Sounds now. And you were right the whole time.
I will never say that.
You will.
Even if I think it, I will never say it.
I'm going to watch your house for a delivery of Pet Sounds. Be like, she won't say it, but there it is. She finally bought it.
I will say too, if you are going to start digging into his stuff, I start with this album,
sure,
and then work your way up to.
It's a hell of a debut.
Work your way up to the brand new album. There's he has 5 solo albums.
Right on.
So
because no.
Yeah. So he has lots of solo content, and you can kind of listen to his. I don't know if it's growth per se, but it changes. The music changes a little bit as it goes on. It's not so guitar keyboard heavy like that. This album is. Cool. It gets kind of more poppy rappy.
Here's the moment we've all been waiting for, Michelle. Did I call your album review earlier, or your rating earlier when I said it was going to be a 5 out of 10?
Yeah, it's up there with Pet Sounds. Oh, God.
Man.
On no planet.
5 out of 10, no stinkers.
Is this record even in the discussion with Pet Sounds?
I know, this record is way better than Pet Sounds.
Oh, my God.
I will pull your goddamn tongue out by the roof.
That's how the Elvis feels about it. Just throwing that out there.
You're so angry.
Yeah. that was Elvis. That wasn't me.
You're an angry elf.
That wraps up our discussion on the Jonny Craig album, his debut album, Michelle.
That means the first one.
Oh, and actually, I don't know why I didn't put this in my notes. Do either of you know where the title of this album came from? Which, again, super duper easy to remember the name of the album. A Dream is a Question.
I looked it up before.
So here's the, when you put the name of the album in there, the first thing I thought was, why do I know that?
Yes.
Okay, and not because you've talked about him on the show before.
Yeah.
It's a line from an X-Files episode.
Okay.
That Fox Mulder says. And as soon as because I Googled it immediately, I was like, why do I know the name of this? And as soon as I Googled it and came up with that, I remember, because I used to be huge into the X-Files. Like, I've probably seen every episode of the X-Files like 20 times. And I was like, I know that I've heard this said. Where have I heard it said? And as soon as it came up on Google, I could see Mulder saying it on the episode.
And it's not the first time he's done that. He has another record called Find What You Love and Let It Kill You.
All right.
Which that's taken from a famous quote, too. So,
right on.
Yeah.
This was the wrap-up of episode 98. For episode 99, we are going to talk about longevity with artists and why some artists endure and others don't. So, why is it that some of the most iconic names in music have been icons for so long? Like, what do we think causes them to...
We can bring him back up because he will not go away. He's been in 5 bands and will not go away.
I was going to talk about like the Beatles and Zeppelin.
Yeah,
but
that too.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah,
everybody. Anybody.
Oh, those guys too.
Yeah, everybody.
Maybe the Beach Boys.
Yeah, obviously the Beach Boys with their masterpiece Pet Sounds. After next week's episode, we will be rolling up on our 100th episode, and we would love for you to be involved in that. So make sure to call our hotline or shoot us an email with a clip about one of your favorite artists or songs or albums that had a positive impact on your life. Without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
The Infectious Groove podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Opening credits read by Stacey Robinson. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.